G'day, I'm going to show you guys how to swap the door locks on my R32 GTS-T project. The original key has been lost by previous owners as it's been sitting for around 5 years. I've got a lock set with a new key that I'm going to swap it into. I tried to find a tutorial and couldn't find one, so I'm going to create one to show you guys how to do it. So the first step is just to remove the inner door trim. There's a fantastic tutorial online
こちらのパーツを取り外します。
that shows you how to take it off. It's pretty easy. You just got to remember to lift up, which is something that I could not figure out how to do on my own, and that'll give you access to behind where the door handle is in order to access the lock. I struggled for a bit here. I rewatched the tutorial and it was really easy. I just forgot to take off the window switches. After you've removed the door trim, there'll be a piece of plastic covering the holes in the door, which you can remove and throw away. Next, there will be 2 bolts holding the door handle assembly in place right here, which you can remove to pull the handle and lock assembly out. Alright, so that's 1. And then that's the second one. Now this next part's a little bit tricky and where I got stuck at, but basically there's these little push rods that have little plastic brackets that need to be taken out. I was trying to take a plastic bracket out of like the thing that it was moving, but I found that there was an easier way to do it, which is like this. Simply push the plastic bracket up like this and then pull the push rod out just like that. And that's it. So now we can remove the door handle assembly, which is a lot easier than it looks. Getting the actual lock section out is a bit of a hassle. It's easier if you have the original key and you can simply just twist that little mechanism in order to get it out. But it is possible, and I did it here just with a little bit of fiddling. The next step is to get the lock mechanism out of the rest of the door handle, which is pretty easy just by removing this wire here, which holds the lock mechanism in place. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just try to get the wire out. You can use another wire as a replacement, but I decided just to keep mine and put it back in, which seems to have done the job anyway. After you've gotten that out, do not do this, because then you'll lose it in the grass and you'll be looking for it for the next 10 minutes. I wish that I could just do this, but I cannot because this is real life, but I found it anyway. After you've taken the wire off, you'll be able to pull the lock mechanism out, which might be a bit difficult because it's a 33-year-old car. You can then put the new one back in and put the wire back on if you've kept it. If not, feel free to use a different one. It should be fine. Now that we've put the new lock into the new door assembly, it's time to put it back into the door. Fairly simple. Now that if you've swapped it for a new lock, you'll be able to use the key, which I use here, to put the assembly back in place. In hindsight, it's probably better just to put the screws in first, but I put the push rods in first, which is okay. After you've done that, you've got to put the screws in, which is 1 and that's 2. The rods are pretty self-explanatory as to put back together. Simply put the peg through the hole and then clip the plastic section back over the push rod. And just put your door trim back on. And as you can see, mine works perfectly. Hope this helped you out. Consider subscribing for more R32 tutorials as well. Thank you.